time. Oh. And scene.
Why you made me do that?
Anyway, hi guys. Welcome to the Charming Analysis podcast. This is our last video before we start recording our Christmas podcast stuff, which we will start doing next week. Sorry, I'm sneezing. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about a movie that sadly has not come out yet, but we somehow found it and decided, hey, we're going to watch this. And we mainly watched it early. Normally, we were one of these people that like to wait until the movie comes out. But we had to watch this when we found it because we want to promote this movie in some kind of way. Like, no one's paying us to do this, but we want to promote this movie in some kind of way.
Yeah.
Because this movie does deserve to be seen. So, fasten your werewolf seatbelts and Wolfwalker seatbelts because we're going to be talking about...
Really werewolf.
Whatever. We're going to be talking about Wolfwalkers. So, why don't you explain what Wolfwalkers is, honey?
Wolf.
Come on.
Wolfwalkers is an Irish folktale about a girl named Robin who is hunting the last known pack of wolves with her father in Ireland. And she meets a creature called a Wolfwalker who is a human when they're awake, a wolf when they're asleep. So Meg meets her and they become great friends. And it's pretty much a quest to find wherever Robin's mother is and save the last pack of wolves.
Basically, yeah.
That's pretty much it.
But we heard about this movie a while ago. Like, we heard about this movie.
I introduced you to the
trailer.
trailer.
You introduced me to the trailer for it, and I was so fucking excited because this is one of the only other traditionally animated things that's come out in the last, like, couple years. This is traditionally anime like Claws that came out on Netflix. So, I was so excited to finally see another traditionally animated, like, movie. And this movie is really good. Like, this is the funny thing. This movie's technically supposed to come out in December. But somehow, I don't know fucking how this happened, someone leaked the movie onto YouTube. So, me and Jay just decided, hey, we might as well just see what this is. And we didn't realize, oh fuck, this is supposed to come out like a month after we found it. Yeah. So, we're doing this podcast now. We're probably not going to post this till after it comes out. Mm-hmm. Or at least, like, in a couple weeks before it comes out. Because, here's the thing. And this is something that, like, you guys should know. We love to promote movies. If a movie's good, we'll tell you. Kind of thing. But we normally watch the movies when they come out. But this was one of the only cases I think we've done so far where somehow we found the movie before it came out. Someone apparently screen recorded it. I don't know fucking how they did. I don't know how this person even got access to it. So...
Well, premiered in TIFF.
I know, but... I mean, like, on YouTube. And stuff like that.
Probably had a copy of it.
But still, I didn't expect someone to actually post it before then. Anyway, this was premiered at a movie festival, so people technically have seen it. Mm-hmm. But it's not supposed to officially come out until December.
Yeah.
So we just decided, hey... let's just do a podcast on this because we already like the movie. Mm-hmm. Why not promote the movie in some kind of way?
Yeah.
Because I will be honest, this is probably one of the better movies I've seen in 2020. Out of all the movies I've seen in 2020.
What have we seen in 2020 that was remotely good? I'm not just talking about good in the sense that you liked it.
But in general.
I mean, like, a good fucking movie.
The only good movies I can think of off the top of my head that came out this year is the Sonic the Hedgehog movie that we saw in February.
A good movie.
And Trolls World Tour.
A good movie. Not a movie that we...
Those were good.
Mari, those were good in the sense that they were fun romps. I'm talking about a great movie. Like, a great movie from start to end.
I don't know. But those are the only ones I can think of that compete with this. But this one takes the fucking cake. Like...
Invisible Man was a good movie.
But I meant that that's, like, animated, though. It was a good movie, but I meant animated wise. This does compete with that though, but I mean animation wise though.
I don't know if Invisible Man came out in 2020. I'm just listing off.
I think it did.
I think it did. January, I think. I don't know.
Sometime like that. But anyway, this movie is really good. Like, we're probably going to be giving a little bit of spoilers out because we want you guys to see this movie for yourselves. But there is a lot to talk about with this that I feel like should be talked about before going into this movie. Like, something I will point out, and this is something, we were originally going to do this as our intro for this video, but when I see this movie, I get Wolf Children vibes. Because Wolf Children is an anime about a mom raising two wolf kids.
You get different vibes. I got a whole different vibe from this.
What was your vibe?
Brave, if it was done right.
Yeah. But in a sense, this movie basically is literally if Brave and Wolf Children had a fucking baby. That's literally what this movie is. It's if Brave is a better movie than it was, and it mixed itself with Wolf Children and decided, let's have a fucking baby.
I want to watch Wolf Children again, to be honest.
Me too. Wolf Children's a good movie.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about that this time. We're talking about Wolfwalkers. So, what did you think of Wolfwalkers? Is what I
thought it was beautifully animated, and I had no reference to any of the because you haven't seen Song of the Sea and Secret of Kells. I have at least once, but it's been so long since I've seen them that I can't say whether or not how good they are compared to this one, but I can tell you that this one resonated with me the most. So
yeah, like, it's a good movie. Like, out of all the movies I've seen in 2020, this is probably the best movie that has come out this year. Hands down. This has got to be the best movie that came out. Mm-hmm. Because it's very well animated. It's beautiful. Like, the backgrounds are beautiful. The character designs are fucking beautiful. Mm-hmm. And just the animation is so fucking amazing. For being traditionally animated and something we haven't seen in, like, a long time, that's good to see. Like, I'm so happy that they're still making traditionally animated stuff now. Even though it's not as much as, like, before. I'm glad there's still people out there that are willing to traditionally animate shit still. And that's a good thing to see. Especially from, like, you know, someone that grew up with that shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy that we're finally seeing more of that. Like, Claws is the only other movie we've seen in the last, like, couple years that was traditionally animated, I believe. Unless there's some other ones I can't think of. Is there any more besides that? Or just Claws?
There's others.
But I don't know if we've seen them or not.
We definitely have, but I can't remember the fucking names. Yeah, I mean, there's been time and time again where, like, you know, it's because Song of the Sea came out in 2016, so he makes these movies every couple of years, because I remember Secret Kells came out in 2019. Not 2019, 2009.
Yeah.
2009. So he makes these movies every couple of years by Cartoon Saloon, who pretty much, like, you know, is, like, you know, not Canadian, US, or overseas. They're an overseas animation company. So it's like, you know, if they're still keeping 2D animation alive, it's mostly in Canada or different parts of the
it's
country.
Not really much in the US, sadly, because a lot of people are going digital with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and
now more than ever.
That's an argument for another time.
Yeah.
I don't think, like, you know, just because the fact that something's like 3D animated doesn't mean that
it's not
it's like
good,
killing 2D animation.
But still, it's like it's not as often as it is with 3D.
Now we're getting more experimental because fucking Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Like Sony animation exists, so I'm glad. Yeah,
Sony's been getting a lot more experimental, which is something we really do appreciate and stuff, because I never saw Sony as that good until literally I saw Spider-Verse and what they're trying to do with Connected, whenever the fuck that comes out. When is Connected gonna fucking come out, man? I want to see it.
I don't know, when coronavirus literally stops the shit itself.
Anyway, back to the conversation. So, I guess, what are some things you want to talk about with this movie? Like, honey, we're trying to do a podcast here. You can play with the plushie later.
You can't see me right now, but I'm trying to squish plushie Mario's head. Look at how thin they're getting.
Stop it, honey. Come on.
Okay.
Enough. And you squished her too much. Floof her back up again. I swear. Okay.
There you go.
Thank you. Anyway, so I guess what are some things you want to talk about when it comes to this movie? Like, what are some of your thoughts about it?
I think this is probably the better work of, I think it's Tom Moore. I think that's the director's name. I think this is one of, like, his better works, and he just does, like, Irish culture so well, but I'm, of course, not obligated to talk about that. Because I'm not Irish, and I don't like, I don't,
know much
about Irish folklore, so I can't really comment on that. I'm just assuming it's done well. It's because, like,
of the way it's animated and stuff.
The way it's animated, the way
told.
it's presented, yeah. I really like the chemistry between Meg and Robin. I think
I really do too, because those two are literally like fucking sisters.
Yeah.
In a sense. Like, they're like siblings, but unlike regular siblings, these two kind of have like a sibling friendship. Like, they have a friendship, but they could consider themselves as like sisters.
Yeah. In
a sense. And just the way that you see Robin's dad develop through the series, through the movie, is something that I'm glad that they did. I'm glad they touched on the fact that we have this guy who's trying to protect his daughter from society, but ends up learning from his mistake by the end.
Yeah.
To try and prove that, like, to try and understand that, hey, my daughter was right and I was wrong, but I'm willing to admit I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. There's a couple different themes that are in this movie that I'm glad that they did. One of them is learn to appreciate when you're wrong. Because some people just don't want to admit they're wrong.
Yeah. But I think it's just because of how simplified the storytelling is, and there's not in the way of, like, side plots or, like, just, like, stupid shit in general that you see in, like, most kids' movies, that it's like, it can actually tell the story just in a very fruitless way, and it's just, like, seamlessly, like, you get to know these characters because, like, they're not always cutting away to a lot of stuff. It's just played out normally, and that's how I like to see just simplified stories. Like, just let it play out, and let's just, like, see how this goes, because the part of this movie is just the wonder of seeing just the animation and how, like, all the characters are drawn very symmetrical.
They have a certain shape.
Yeah, they all have a certain shape to them.
Like, I think Robin's more of like a diamond or a triangle kind of shape, while Meg is like more of like a rounded like circle, while her dad's kind of a square, and the mom is kind of like ovals in a sense. Mm-hmm. Like, they have a certain shape to them, but they work well. Like, the character designs work well for the characters and stuff. You get to see their personalities more as they go through the movie.
Yeah.
And some stuff I really like about this movie is the fact that the relationship between Meg and her mom is fucking beautiful. Aww. It's so fucking beautiful. The fact that this little girl went through so much shit with her mom to try and protect her. The mom literally almost sacrificed herself for her daughter. Mm-hmm. And the fact that she was just trying to find her mom again, and when she found her mom, she realized that, hey, I need to fix this before she dies. The fact that she was willing to go that far to get her mom back is fucking amazing. It just proves that some relationships will prevail in the long run after, like, a lot of trial and stuff. Some stuff people will make it through a circumstance. Mm-hmm. As long as, like, they have hope and they're willing to work on it, And also, I like the relationship between Meg and Robin. Like, these two come from completely different backgrounds, but they work so well together.
Yeah.
Like, their characters work so well together, and it's nice. to see, like, a sibling best friend relationship between these two characters. Mm-hmm. Like, you get to see how well they interact with one another and how, no matter what, she's trying to do what she can to protect her friend. She's not trying to be mean, but she's trying to protect her friend from the bad stuff. So that way she can help her in the end.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And that's something that's just fucking beautiful. Also, I will say this, though. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but watch the ending of this movie. The ending scene is so fucking beautiful and cute. It really is. Like, this movie's amazing. I don't understand why there's, like... I don't understand how the fuck this movie is so good. It's surprising to see how good this movie is.
Because they take their time.
And they actually developed a story. And stuff like that. But yeah,
I'm not shocked. Like, Tim Moore is very, very inspired by, like,
Irish
his,
stuff.
like, his culture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not shocked that, like, he pays attention to the finer details. And I it's very simplified stories. They're fairy tales. They're basically like
fairy tales.
They're basically old fairy tales. And I think we need that every once in a while because the old stories come from fairy tales, and it's really like even simplified stories can be very powerful and very moving. So
yeah, sometimes like you just need a simple story with like really good passion to it to make something great. You don't even need that much to make a story great, but the way they executed this movie, it's something I'm happy that we decided to see when we did.
Yeah.
Even though I'm surprised someone released it early, and the fact that
it might not get the recognition.
It might not get the recognition it needs, which is kind of sad in a sense, because this is one of those movies that I really do feel like it needs recognition. Like, it needs positive feedback. Because if someone doesn't, like, show that this movie's really good, we may not see movies like this for a while.
And they still make movies.
I know, but
it will be probably, like, they'll find it some way to release it, but it won't, like, it's not going to be in theaters like Secret of Kells was, or Secret of Kells was, like, Secret of Kells only, like, came out and so it's going to collect in select theaters.
But unlike these other movies, this one's going to Apple TV.
Yeah.
Like, this is straight going to Apple TV. They're not even putting it in theaters, which is kind of sad, because this movie should have a theatrical release, at least in some places. It doesn't have to be everywhere, because I understand not every movie theater is gonna want to be able to show movies right now, especially with COVID going on. Mm-hmm. But if this movie did get, like, a theatrical release, it deserves it. And I feel like people would love this movie. This movie has great potential that I feel like people need to see. Like, people need to see this movie, is all I'm trying to say. You guys need to fucking go see this movie. Like, please go watch this movie. Even if you don't have Apple TV, find a way to watch this movie. Please show support to these, like, artists and stuff like that, because they fucking deserve it. After all this shit they probably went through to get this movie up, they fucking deserve it. Like, okay, so is there anything else you want to say about this before we give our ratings?
I just go support it when it comes to Apple TV on December the 11th. Just watch it a few times. Watch it with your family. It's a great kids movie, and it's probably like this is probably the best movie of 2020 that
honestly,
I've seen.
yeah.
Unless I find like another movie that was released in 2020 that I can.
Which I highly doubt at this point, because literally 2020 ends next month, which is surprising to say because this year's been fucking exhausting and annoying.
Brutal.
It's been brutal. Like, not much for us per se, but like in general, it's been brutal.
Yeah, but I'm glad we could watch it. I'm glad that I could say that it is a great movie.
And I'm also glad that even though this isn't supposed to come out till December, I'm happy we got to see it early. But I guarantee you, we are probably going to watch this movie again. Yeah. This is a movie I would watch again. And I would probably watch it once it comes out to Apple TV. So...
yeah, so we can see it in better quality.
Yeah, because the quality we saw was not the best, but it was still good enough to, like, you know, see what we were watching and shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's give our ratings and stuff and then just finish.
I give it a... probably don't, like, you know, I'm not intensely in love with this movie.
As much as I am.
Yeah, because of the fact that, like, you know, simplified stories are always, like, you know, they're really, really great. They're really, really great.
But some are better than others.
Yes, some are better than others. And I cannot, like, you know, I need to watch the other, like, I need to watch Secret of Kelso's Honesty to see how they hold up. But, I give this a good, like, you know, 7.5 out of 10.
That's good. Yay. Also, I can finally say this with no shade of doubt. This is probably the first movie on this podcast I will give a 10 out of 10.
Oh, damn.
I would watch this shit again. I love this movie. I'm very passionate about this movie. It has great potential. It really does. And it's sad that, like, you know, I'm nervous not a lot of people are going to support this movie. Because this is a good movie. It's really good.
I feel like people will.
I hope so, because if they don't, I'm going to be surprised. I give this movie a 10 out of 10. I will say that without a shade of a doubt. This is a 10 out of 10 for me.
Cool, your first 10 out of 10.
This is my first 10 out of 10 on the fucking podcast, damn it.
Yay.
The closest I had was like a 9.5.
What was that for?
I don't remember. Like, it was from, like, one of the beginning podcasts we did, like, a while back. I think it was from, like, maybe BoJack Horseman,
Probably
maybe.
BoJack Horseman.
BoJack Horseman are one of the other things we've seen. Either that or, like, Promise Neverland. One of those two has got to be, like, close to a 10.
Yeah. As
close to a 10 as you can probably get. I don't normally give stuff 10 out of 10, but I give this a 10 out of 10. I would recommend this to people. If you guys like Wolf Children and you guys like Brave, please watch this movie. But anyway, before we go from the podcast, we need to say this. We don't we're not paid to say any of this. We literally watch this for our own entertainment and stuff like that. I wish we could get fucking sponsored by this company in a sense, but we can't, sadly. But please, when this movie comes out, please go support this movie. It deserves it. It really does. Like, please go support the artist. Please go watch this movie when it comes out in December. Like, show support for this movie. Because it deserves it. Right, honey?
Yeah.
What do you say? Say some stuff.
It definitely supports. Like, you know, you definitely should support it whenever you get the chance to. Buy it. Like, honestly, buy this movie. Because, like, the more people see it, the more movies that we're going to get just like it. So,
yeah. Please just go support this movie once it comes out. I know this movie came out, we found it early, but I wish we didn't in a sense, but at the same time, I'm glad we saw it when we did.
Yeah. It's supposed to come out later, because I remember, like, reading an article back in, like, 2017 about it, and it, like, you know, I was like, oh, this is really interesting, and I'm glad that it held up to its promise.
Yeah, but anyway, that's the end of our podcast. Please go support Wolfwalkers once it comes out. Please, guys, we're begging you. Please go watch this movie. It's really good. You guys will love this movie. If you guys like wolves, you will love this movie. It's so good. Anyway, I've given it enough praise for right now, or I'll be going on for literally 20 minutes about it. So that's the end of our podcast for Wolfwalkers. This is our last podcast before we start actually recording our Christmas stuff. We'll be doing a Christmas thing all month for the month of December. So be on the lookout for that. And that's all for right now. I'm Mari.
I'm Jay.
And we're out.